app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody listening over at woodwardsports.com. Appreciate it very much. Wow.
Happy birthday, Jeff Iafrate!
Let's start with that. Happy birthday, Jeff.
I appreciate you
Happy
guys.
birthday. What are you, 19?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I had to. I had to.
Sean yesterday was me today.
I know.
No, I turned
23.
Yeah, 22.
22.
Yes.
You're younger than I even thought.
Yeah.
Not
No,
bad,
22
Jeff.
years old. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone in the chat saying happy birthday on social media. I was at the game last night.
How do you know?
That was a birthday gift right
How
there.
was
It was
it?
great. It was
Just
amazing.
in person, because we got a lot to talk about with the Pistons, but
I'll give you some perspective.
I want to know in person. Give me the atmosphere, LCA.
I'll start with the atmosphere. I mean, I get Red Wings games, especially for opening day. They're packed. Mike Gentry knows all about that. Last year for opening day for the Pistons, it was packed, but this year it just felt different. The atmosphere, it really did feel like a playoff atmosphere. You had fans singing together when Jalen Suggs was fouled out, saying, telling them goodbye, waving them goodbye. It just felt like everybody kind of knew already. Like, this young core, man, is going to be very exciting this year. I mean, they may not win a ton of games, but last night was a perfect example. You got to see Jaden, Ivey, Jalen, Duren. And Jalen Duren, I mean, it's crazy to see these guys on TV, but to go in person and see, number one, Jaden Ivey's speed. I mean, the guy is so fast. It's unbelievable. And now you kind of understand why that was the narrative about him coming out. But honestly, get to watch an opening day win. First time it's happened since 2019. October 23rd, 2019, the Pistons beat the Pacers 119-110. That was the last time they won the opener. And guess what? Andre Drummond, 32-23. And look at how different the roster is. Now you win an opening night 2 years later, 3 years later, and it's a completely different roster. The starting lineup at the time was Drummond, Snell, Bruce Brown, Markieff Morris, and Reggie Jackson. How far we've came.
Here's where I want to start with. Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, Bogdanovich, everybody played well last night. I want to start with the fans. LCA was packed.
It was nuts.
LCA was pretty damn low. And you saw an atmosphere of hope. It wasn't that they won. That was nice. That was good to see.
Right.
But Jaden Ivey looked every bit of what you thought you were getting at number 5. Jalen Duren, nice surprise. Bogdanovich, a nice year rental. But still,
the Pistons are going to get a first for him. I'm telling you. But a contender's going to be calling up in about a couple months.
You see what happens when you put out a product people can get behind? Honestly,
no, you're right.
I'm just saying.
Competitive product.
That is so important.
Yeah.
Was the win nice last night? It absolutely was. I'm sure everybody downtown was loving it. I was loving it at home. But Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart all have taken a pretty damn good step in their development. Sadiq Bey struggled and you still won. You still put up over 100 points. Mm-hmm. Bogdanovich, 22 points. Ivey, 19 in his debut. The 4th most points ever by a Detroit Pistons rookie in their debut. I mean,
Adam, I'm telling you, your take about him, it's him, and Paulo's that guy.
Paulo,
but
my God.
Jaden Ivey's right
we'll
there,
get to
too.
him, but that's all Detroit's asking for.
That's all it is.
You think I sit up here and ask for a Super Bowl? An NFC championship appearance? A playoff win? So we'll win the division. We can start there.
Right.
That'd be nice. Then the playoff win, and everything else comes into play. But honest to God, man. So you watched the game last night. I see the future.
Mm-hmm. It's clear.
I have no doubts.
It's clear as day. And
I have no doubts that they can't replicate what Boston has created with their young core. We drew comparisons, Jalen Duren, Robert Williams, how if Duren could give you 70% of what Robert Williams gives you defensively, but gives you much more offensively, he would be a phenomenal player in this league. 14 and 11, my goodness, last night, what a debut. He played the whole 4th quarter. Beef Stew was on the bench.
I noticed that. I'm telling you, even though I still believe it's going to be a beef stew in Duren front court, I noticed that. I mean, they trusted the rookie to close the game for them. And even on top of that, I mean, the narrative behind this win, this is why it's so important. It's not it's not about a win itself. The Magic are often compared to the Pistons right now with their current young core. They're at a similar stage. And to go out where you win at home, and now you get to go to the Mecca in a couple days, believe tomorrow, and you had no Bagley, no Burks, and no Livers, and they score 60 in the first half. I mean, don't get me wrong. It started off ugly. A lot of people were a little, frightened in the crowd. I think they went on a 19-0 run, the Magic, and then boom, Pistons score 40 in the second. Again, that's the two young teams. You're going to have those ups and downs, but they responded, and I loved it. It's that narrative that Dwayne Casey talked about. They want to be competitive, and it's not just talking about it. See, it's different isn't it funny when coaches talk about something and the players actually do it? That's what we're seeing with the Pistons. They want to be competitive. Players are being competitive. Now, you're going to see nights where it might be the opposite, but opening night, they delivered, and it was awesome to see, man. The crowd loved it.
The crowd loved it. Twitter loved it. Social media loved it. Everybody loved it. Why? Because you could convince me that is a winning product in a few years.
Right.
Why is everybody up in arms? And you know what? You want to blame me, be my guest. Why is everybody, including myself, up in arms about Dan Campbell? Oh, Adam, it's only year 2. You knew it was a clear rebuild. Adam, why? Why are you doing this? Do you see success with that? I don't. But hey, you know what? We'll get to that at a later time in the show. But I'm just saying, the point I'm trying to make to at least start the show today is that is what hope looks like for a fan base. That is what a future looks like for a basketball franchise, an NFL franchise, whatever it may be. That is what it looks like. And Jaden Ivey, you touched on it earlier.
Jeez.
I think he'll be the best player coming out of this draft. Ben Carroll, the first rookie to debut with 25, 5, and 5 since LeBron.
He's a different animal.
That was something. He was unguardable last night. He really was.
Yeah.
He was a problem. Did anybody else notice Corey Joseph looked like a guy that plays in the rec league on Thursdays that has no business but shows up in arm sweatbands, whatever the hell you call them?
Yeah.
The full jersey concept.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like. He looked like an Oompa Loompa on the court.
I know. I saw your tweet. I was with Mike Gentry. He looked at Corey and he goes, "Hey Jeff, isn't it crazy that Corey Joseph looks like someone you see at LA Fitness?
Yes.
He looks like an LA Fitness hooper. But he's out there. He's getting minutes, specifically, I think, personally, because Burks and those guys are out. But still, it was nice to see everybody. Again, appreciate all the people that showed me love, went to the game. A lot of people recognize me from either this show or from Half Court. So
awesome.
Appreciate you all. It was awesome, man. It was a very humbling experience, but couldn't have went any other way. It was a perfect day yesterday, man. Got to see a lot of things. Jaden Ivey plays well, Duren plays well, and you win.
For all the crap
Cade shoots well. I thought I was supposed to be worried about Cade. I thought we were supposed to be worried about Cade. What happened with that?
Mr. Almost double-double.
Come on, guys.
Cade in the fourth quarter, by the way, late third, and really the entire fourth quarter. I know he missed a few shots at the end, but that was prime Cade down the stretch last season. A guy who could get to the basket at will.
Yep.
Pull up from mid-range, get to the foul line. I mean, you saw what you needed to see. I'm not worried about Cade at all. 9 assists, I believe. What's up, Fish?
All right, so we're 1 game in. How many wins are we going to get?
Don't you dare.
What'd you say, Fish?
How many wins are we going to get?
Oh, it's still the same.
Okay.
It ain't changing. I picked this game before the season to win.
Okay.
Like I said, I think they could beat the Magic.
What do you mean don't? I got people tweeting at me telling me 55 wins. What am I supposed to do?
Fish, shut the hell up.
This guy wanted me to bet him.
Fish, shut the hell up. Let me explain something to you.
Okay, explain.
Okay?
Yep.
In the NFL, there are only 17 games.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? That means week to week, it is logical to actually make a prediction on the game.
Okay.
To sit here over an 82-game schedule and make comments, or, they will win this game, they won't win that game, they'll win this game, is a waste of time, and I would never do it, and it's the stupidest thing ever. It's
Right.
the most stupid thing ever.
I didn't say pick the games.
Shut the hell up. Having said that, just because the Pistons won last night doesn't mean that the entire fan base is up over rails saying they're going to win 52 games. Relax.
I got 10 comments at least
Fish,
saying
shut the hell up. You look at
41,
Twitter too much.
55.
You're on Twitter too much. Shut the hell up.
You know what's funny, Fish? To your point, I was walking out of the arena and I heard, "Playoffs, baby!" And I'm sitting there. I thought of Fish immediately.
Look, I don't mind.
Some dumbass said 82
Shut the hell up. I don't mind a fan being excited about their team when the
Right.
team gives them a reason to be excited.
That's a good point.
Would you not be excited if you were downtown last night watching Jaden Ivey look every bit of the number 5 overall pick, if anything better than that? Did you not love to see Jalen Duren get a double-double in his NBA debut? There are a lot of things that happened last night where I, as someone who talks about sports, along with this beautiful gentleman.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, by the way. There are a lot of things you just leave alone. You don't take them seriously. You enjoy the moment. Enjoy last night. They only make their NBA debuts once.
Yep.
Ivey and Duren had a hell of a debut.
Absolutely.
It's that simple.
Yep. Just know when they lose 5 in a row, you're going to hear it. Oh, Adam, the team sucks. Oh, Cade, go to the G League.
It's
Oh,
not the
Ivey,
NFL,
go to the
buddy.
G League.
You lose 5 games in a row in the NFL, somebody's getting their head chopped off.
Yeah.
In the NBA, it's an 82-game season.
I know.
There's no knee-jerk reacting outside of maybe a 30-40% of a fan base. It's normal. It's not something that aggravates me.
The Nuggets just lost by 20 to the Jazz. A team that's probably tanking for Vic. So, I mean, like you said, Adam, it's...
You heard it in the preseason, though, and that's only like 4 games.
Even if the Pistons lost yesterday, Fish, and it was competitive, I think we'd still be coming in here talking about, like, wow, the rookies looked really good. We'd have a lot of good things to say.
I would hope so.
It's just a little sprinkle on top that they won.
It is.
Beat the Magic.
Well, look, 8:15, we'll get to Jaden, Ivey, and Jalen Duren, their impressive debuts. Unbelievable stuff. Our takeaways, how good they can be, how they stack up really in this draft class. I know Spencer messaged me last night on Twitter, and he said Duren could be the best player to come out.
Wait, who said that?
He was happy. He wasn't being serious.
Yeah, Spence was. He's right.
He wasn't being so serious, but but that is the reaction I expect from a team that's trying to get there, right? You want to see what the product will look like in a few years. And if I were to close my eyes and wake up in 4 years after watching last night, just only last night is my thought. It's like the only thing I have in my head, and I woke up in 4 years, I would wake up and say, Cade Cunningham is a borderline superstar.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden Ivey, borderline star, maybe superstar, who knows. Jalen Duren might be an all-star. You have a big 3 potentially. Again, in the context of one game, close my eyes, wake up in 4 years.
Right, you're just projecting.
But you get my point?
Yeah, you're just projecting.
So if that's all I knew and I woke up 4 years from now, that's what I would expect based off of that game.
Right.
I thought it was a great performance. We'll get to them in a bit. 8:30, Dak Prescott medically cleared to play. Can the Detroit Lions take advantage of a guy who hasn't played in a few weeks? Looking back at what Brad Holmes has done so far as the Lions GM at 8:45. We'll take callers, by the way. The phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. That's 313-552-6322. Having said that, we'll get to Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren in just a second, but before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Well, I was at LCA yesterday, and the thing to be drinking down there is the Cintron energy drink because, guys, Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box, which you can see if you're watching on WoodwardSports.com. You see it, cranberry, sugar-free, classic. Get all 3 of their different flavors at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Detroit Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, next Thursday to be exact, join Ermanni and Edwards with Maz live in Dearborn at the Michael Phillips Keller Williams office. Braylon will be doing meet and greets at after the show, at 4:30, and make sure you stick around for trunk or treat in the Keller Williams parking lot at 6 p.m. They'll provide food trucks, costumes, and so much more, all from the great people over at Michael Phillips and his wonderful staff. Big shout out and love to them. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. I think I'm going to be there next week, by the way. Hang out for the Ermanni and Edwards show. See my people.
Your people. Get out of here. Yeah, see my people.
God.
That's going to be good. That would be good. You, Ermanni, and Braylon.
Should be fun. Well, look, let's start with the obvious. The guy that I think surprised more people than... I think he shocked the whole NBA, really. Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren was not only good, he imposed his will in the paint. Look, does he have a complete post game? No, he doesn't. I mean, he's 18 years old, by the way.
Right.
Soon to be 19.
Missed a couple of those easy buckets, but it's okay.
You live with it, but he runs the court well.
Yep.
He can defend the paint, and you saw how really Orlando took advantage of Detroit to start the game. Right, you had Isaiah Stewart in, you had that small lineup. It was Sadiq, Ivey, Cade, Bogdanovich, and Stewart. And they were getting buckets at the rim at will. And then Duren came into the game. And then, honest to God, I have to give him credit. Corey Joseph did a hell of a job leading that comeback in the second quarter.
He did.
But regardless, you saw the paint presence that Duren brought to the table. And you know what? Outside of Banchero, and I would say Bogdanovich, there was no player on the court that had more impact for their basketball team than Jalen Duren did last night. Unbelievable, Jeff.
You're not wrong. Highest plus minus. This is the two things that stood out to me about Jalen Duren, which, again, small things. Because you can look at the 14 and 10, the 5 offensive rebounds, the 3 blocks. Personally, you know what, Adam? I'm looking at the 0 personal fouls.
That was a big thing. Casey talked about it leading up to the game.
Yep.
We're a young team. We have to stop taking stupid fouls.
0 personal fouls. He had the highest plus minus, which we kind of alluded to earlier. When he left the court, even in person, you saw the impact. He came back on the court, you saw the impact. Again, missed some of those free throws, 0 for 4 from the free throw line. But again, those are small things we're nitpicking right now. I think we knew that coming out of college, he was going to struggle. I'm sure over time he'll get better. You see him working with Isaiah Stewart after practice. So I'm not too concerned. But that was in 22 minutes. 22 minutes, you give me 14, 10, and 3 blocks. Like, I'll take that every day of the week. And with Jaden Ivey, too, specifically, what stood out to me is the 2 for 4 from 3. Because that three-point shot was the big thing coming out. And he hit one of them off the dribble. Another one was a catch-and-shoot opportunity. And that's the thing that I see with these two rookies is things that they were getting, things we talked about they needed to work on. They came out game 1 and they looked good. I mean, for Jaden Ivey, can he shoot? Well, 2 for 4. He looked good. Even though he left a couple of those layups off the board, 8 for 15, I'll take that. But this is the thing I loved most about Jaden Ivey, and I'm going to keep pounding the table until, time ends. His defense. It does not get talked about enough. 6'4", 6'10" wingspan. He had 3 steals last night. Like, that's the thing. I don't get. He's fast. He's dynamic. He's athletic.
He is so damn quick.
So quick, by the way. But defensively, there's the upside for me. I mean, if he can get to where at least I think he can be in terms of a defender, he's going to be a really good two-way player.
Brandon was on the show yesterday. I brought up Dwayne Wade. He saw a lot of it. He said defensively it's not there, but it could be. Man, again, 1 game in, but I have a very, very strong, not only hunch, I have history backing up this number 5 overall pick. And I think Ivey's going to be the one, outside of maybe Banchero, that you look back and say, wow.
Right.
Wow, he went 5? Boy, those teams made a mistake, right?
There's always some of those players.
Happens every year. I'm glad you brought up the 3 steals. Somebody who had a horrible game offensively, Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
But gave you 5 rebounds. Gave you 5 assists.
Absolutely.
Had a good connection. Was really, honestly, doing a good job of penetrating and dishing out.
Stayed aggressive, which I liked.
He was aggressive, which I don't mind, but the shot isn't, it doesn't look right. It still doesn't look right. But he gave me, what, 2 steals? No, 3 steals, a block, 5 assists, 5 rebounds.
Defense.
That's all I want from Killian Hayes at this point. I'm not going to throw up the 14, 4, and 5 average. He has to get me 12, 5 and 5 a night, and 2 steals. No. I just don't think he has it offensively. Now, can he run the point? Can he get you 6-6 or 6-4 and 7 a night with a steal or 2? Absolutely. That is the Killian Hayes I believe is more, I would say, reflecting of his abilities. But he was 1 for 9 from the field.
Right.
That shot doesn't look right. Still had a +6, +-
Impact.
So he still was making impact even though his shot wasn't there, and that was because of his aggressiveness, his ability to pass, distribute, and, of course, his defensive play.
And I liked how aggressive he was. I get he was 1 for 9. Obviously, that's not going to happen every night. But you're right. I always say, who are you when your shot's not falling? Killian Hayes last night. I mean, we know Killian's going to make an impact even when his shot's not falling.
I think we
right.
have to reverse the Killian Hayes conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at the number 7 overall pick because I'll always be disappointed. But if I'm able to get a guy who can come off the bench and give me 20, 24 minutes, who plays rock-solid defense, you need that in the postseason. Mm-hmm. You get to the playoffs, that matters. You want somebody that's kind of lanky, right? They got length. They contest shots. They steal the ball.
Right.
Good on the perimeter. That's what Killian Hayes is. And that's all I personally want. I'm not going to sit here and demand 12 a night from him.
Right.
I just think that's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit his role. There aren't enough shots for him. Now, every 5, 6, 7 nights, can he get you 10, 12? Sure. But most nights, I expect 5, 6, 7 points at most, along with 4 to 5 assists. And I think that is an impactful night for Killian Hayes.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the arrival now of Jaden Ivey. Take some pressure off of him a little bit.
Sadiq Bey struggled a little bit shooting, but not a word. All he did was mess up my parlays, so I have nothing bad to say.
He really
about
didn't
Sadiq
take
Bey.
it. He took 5 shots. So it was just like one of those nights for Sadiq where he's got to find his way just in the rotation. I mean, he's in the rotation, but find his way. I mean, really, you got Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, you have all these new guys. Beydoun really taking all of his shots now. Sadiq Bey's got to insert himself, and I'm sure it'll happen. But it was nice. I mean, they won, so you can't really complain there. It was funny because it was so close to the end of the game, and then Isaiah Stewart hits that 3, sinks it.
Let's talk about that, though. Isaiah Stewart, by the way, that evolution from you're not sure what you have, but he's super energetic, he plays hard, to, oh, goodness me, he might be a stretch 4. And look, he struggled from 3 last night outside of hitting the clutch one when he needed to. But who played the whole 4th quarter, Jeff? Can you remind me? Who played the 5?
It would be Duren. It would be Duren.
Look.
As his first game in the NBA.
It is one game. But even Dwayne Casey, and I got to give him credit for this, he noticed the team's ability to play defense when Duren was out on the court. And I alluded this to you a lot earlier, 3-4 weeks ago, that don't be shocked by January if you do see a 8 to 12, 14-minute span of the game where Duren and Stewart are on the court at the same time.
I think that's the goal.
And I think that's where they can get.
Right.
Now, you mentioned trading Bogdanovich before the deadline. He is clearly vital, brings a veteran presence, can shoot the ball. There are a lot of good things about the Pistons right now. I like what they have. But I'm sorry, Killian Hayes' shot, to me, just doesn't look right. Alonzo Ball eventually figured out his shot, so I'm not going to sit here and give up on Killian.
And Killian changed it in the offseason, and he started hitting some of his shots, especially in the preseason.
Yeah,
so we got to give him more time.
The pull-up 3 last night was just kind of a dull moment for me. I was like, hey, what are you doing? You were playing fine, play within the offense. You're not the pull-up guy. Don't do it. But regardless, I like what I got out of Killian still last night.
Yeah, me too. And I think one thing I got to say, too, with Duren and Beef Stew, I think that's the goal. I think all this time you acquire Nerlens Noel. He's kind of like your bridge to Duren. Nerlens Noel ain't playing a single minute. I mean, he's not playing. Unless Duren gets injured, God forbid, or someone else gets injured. But Nerlens Noel, hey, sometimes if you're not there, your spot gets taken. And Duren last night played, and he ain't going to the G League. All this narrative we talked about, is he ready or is he not? He's ready. And to be really the only player since Dwight Howard to record a double-double in your first career game at 18. And he's only, I think it was 20 days older than Dwight. So those Dwight comparisons are only going to come more and more. But
Look,
still,
what was prime Dwight?
Made an impact right away.
What was prime Dwight Howard? Arguably the best defensive player in the game, right?
And a man who took the Magic to the NBA Finals.
Well, there was that too, but where I'm going is on the court-wise, he was a rim runner.
Yeah,
he could run up and down the
best
court.
Two-way player center.
Alley-oops, you name it, easy buckets. He developed, I'm not going to say a very good post game, but I would say above average post game. He had some moves. He was physically imposing. 4 years from now, Detroit, you will wake up and Jalen Duren will be 22 years old.
Yeah. Now, if you can have the career Dwight Howard had, of course. I mean, we're not talking about that, but still the comparisons physically, his age, his ability to make an impact right away.
Very similar.
Right.
Granted, again, Dwight Howard was the starting five. He came out, But Duren gave you a hell of an impression game one, and if we're honest, it's one game into the year, but defensively you noticed how much better they were, how much more protected they were in the paint with Duren on the court. Did he make a few mistakes? Absolutely. I believe he had 3 turnovers. He had a 3-second lane violation as well.
Just little stuff.
Just small things that you can figure out.
He struggled a little bit defending the pick and roll, but that every young, especially a center, you get into pick and rolls with some of these guys. Like it's gonna take time. That's why I joked last night. I tweeted out, Jalen Duren might mess around and start. I don't think that's going to happen soon. I think there's a little bit of a grooming process, but he's good enough too. I think there's just little things that Isaiah Stewart brings that Duren doesn't bring yet. Just intangibles. I think Stewart has done a really good job with. I know last night people tend to overreact and be like, "Scoot aside, Stewart. Insert Duren." But there's still plenty of time.
What's one thing I appreciate
they
about
both
the
should
NBA?
start eventually.
If there's one thing I appreciate about the NBA, it is that you can watch an entire season and find tangible progress, regardless of the win total, right? In the NFL, there's only 17 games, Jeff. I judge you based on wins.
Yeah, every win is
now,
is
do
even
I
more
think
important.
Dwayne Casey is the guy? I don't care. You are not winning with year 2 Cade and year 1 Jaden Ivey and year 3 Sadiq Bey. That's not how the NBA works. You are 3-4 years away from being conference contenders. That's the reality. So I am going to enjoy every moment from now till then. Because the reality is you are watching a team grow. In the NFL, there is no excuse. There are turnarounds every year. From last to first, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on. In baseball's I don't want to say a little similar to the NBA, but it is a long season.
Right.
And when you are not competing, you are looking for, well, where are the kids that we're calling up? What arms do we have? Who's good? Who isn't? You're looking and trying to identify what is good for you in the future. You go to hockey. What have the Wings been doing for years now? Well, here's Mo Sider.
Right.
And here's Lucas Raymond. And here's Dylan Larkin's evolution. And here's Bertuzzi's evolution. And here comes more players and more players and more players. And by the way, shout out to Jakub, Vrána, his family. Hope everything's okay there. Really unfortunate situation. Wishing him the best. But you saw the Wings going from a really bad team into a rebuild into, hey, you know what? In 4 or 5 years with this plan Yzerman has, they will be competing potentially not only in the playoffs, but who knows? They could be back to being Hockey Town. And it's early in the season, obviously, but if I were to make a bet with you, in 3 years, does Derek Lalonde have this team in the second round competing to get to a conference final?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody would take that bet.
Yeah, me too.
And the cap is very friendly in Detroit. Yzerman will have money to work with. He went and got David Perron, Cobb. Again, with the Pistons, they're probably going to lose 50 to 54 games this year.
Right. I think they're
That's
a
the
year
reality.
behind the Pistons, or the Red Wings.
And then I think next year is 38.
Yep.
39 wins potentially. Depending if Ivey is really just a stud, you're probably winning 43, 44 games.
It could be 40s.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But that is why it's so different to the NFL. Because in the NBA, you have no choice but to wait. You have no choice. In the NFL, you have no choice but to demand success now. Because everybody does it every year. When we get back, Dak Prescott is medically cleared to play. Will and can the Detroit Lions take advantage of the situation? He hasn't played since, I believe, week 1, was it? or week 2, excuse me, got hurt in the second game of the year. I might be wrong on that.
He played the Bucks, and then I think he hurt his thumb in that game. So he might not have. He finished the game, didn't play next week.
I think Cooper Rush started all the games after.
Started everything after that.
They're 4-1 with Cooper.
4-1 with Cooper.
Rush.
Central Michigan.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll get to the Lions talk in just a little bit. 8:45. We'll take a look at Brad Holmes, what he's done so far as the Detroit Lions GM. But before we go, Jeff, the best defense on and off the court.
Well, guys, the best defense is Guardian Alarm, and it is winter, so that means if you're spending time inside, you got to protect your outside. Guardian Alarm can do that, and they can give you peace of mind while you're chilling, staying away from the cold. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today, and you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection. That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Fans love you,
Let them know your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Win front row tickets to see Detroit versus Green Bay. To enter, make sure you record a video of you doing your best Dan Campbell impersonation, man. Post it on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok and use hashtag Woodward Front Row. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports on Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports on TikTok as well. And we will select 3 winners, and they each will get 2 tickets for front row seats for the Detroit Green Bay game. The winner will be announced November 4th, so make sure you submit your entries. All right, good start to the morning. 8:33, Thursday morning, Thursday night football tonight, Saints and Cardinals. Should be fun. Let's get to the Lions. Dak Prescott medically cleared to play. What does this mean for the Lions, right? I think that if there was ever a week, and I want to bring it full circle, it's very important to tell the story. Let's go week by week. Going into week 1 against Philly, there is optimism for a 7 to 8 win season. They lose a close game to Philly. Unfortunately, their head coach gave Philly 2 extra possessions. You move on, you dominate the Washington Commanders, and after that game, you saw something that was different, something that would imply that this team will not be a 3-4 win team again, and that this team has something about it that will allow it to win 6, 7, 8 games. You go to Minnesota, you dominate Minnesota for 3.5 quarters. And your coach again throws away the game. And then you get to Seattle, where offensively you put up 45 points and find a way to lose that game. And then you get shut out by the Patriots. And now you are approaching on the road in Dallas against the Cowboys, 1-4, having never won a road game with Dan Campbell as your head coach. That is not ideal. And I know it's already being. I know it's being said. 1-7, 1-7, 1-7. I'm not doing that. I'm just not. And again, you guys can all think I don't like Dan Campbell, or that I want him fired, yada, yada, yada. The truth is, I've never said I want him fired, nor would I fire him right now. But what I am telling you is, coming off a bye week against Dallas, I'm not looking for the players to play hard. Adam, they need to play hard, and I'll believe in the product. Oh, my God. Adham, please. Oh, Jeff, did you know we played hard? And that's not what I'm looking for.
No.
You go out there, compete,
Right.
and try to steal a game with a rusty quarterback who is just now available to throw 30, 40, 50 times at practice. Take advantage of a wide receiving core that's been banged up all year, an offensive line that's been banged up. Ezekiel Elliott looks like Corey Joseph running out there in the NFL. Take advantage. Having said that, the Cowboys' defense is a problem.
Yeah.
And you're going to look to Jared Goff. And granted, the one thing you have going for you is it is a dome. And Cowboy Stadium is a dome stadium. Jared Goff plays better inside. So you have that going for you. Ben Johnson and the offense will have to find a way to get things right. DeAndre Swift was limited in practice. St. Brown fully practiced yesterday.
Yep.
You're going to have almost everybody back. Maybe not 100%, but I believe Swift will play in this game. Find a way to do what people don't believe you can do, which is win a game. Not only win a game on the road, Jeff.
And I think the bigger part is listen, we're not going to sit here and say this is because we've been doing this all year, by the way, not just us, but everybody. This is a must win. I mean, from a coaching standpoint, you want to see improvement, and that's kind of all I'll say on that. I mean, I still think the Cowboys are most likely going to win. If anything, you talk about this defense of the Cowboys. I mean, it's terrifying what they've been doing. 17 points. They gave up 26 to Philly. They gave up 10 to the Rams, and now you're facing a Lions offense who is or was one of the most the explosive offenses in the league. But then you had some injuries. Amon-Ra St. Brown will be back. I think DeAndre Swift's going to try and give it a go. So you're going to get some players back. But like you said, it's not about playing hard. I mean, I see the Falcons play hard. I see Seattle play hard, but they're winning. That's the difference. And I think for Detroit, going to Dallas, you haven't won a road game under Dan Campbell yet. Just make. I don't want to have to sit up here on Monday and talk about another botched decision. I really don't. I want to sit up here and say, you know what? That game was competitive. They fought like hell.
Can I ask you something?
On the road, but they just didn't have the talent defensively.
Can I ask you something?
What's up?
Honest answer here.
What's
no
up?
BS. If Dan Campbell doesn't make the decisions he made against Philly or Minnesota or even New England, but they still lost those games. Okay? Let's say they are 2-3, hell, 1-4, but the mistakes aren't there from a coaching standpoint. They're just losing football games. Are we having this conversation?
Conversation about Dan specifically, probably not.
Thank you.
Probably not, because
would we be having a conversation about Brad Holmes?
No.
Probably not.
No. You'd still be questioning when are these players going to get here, but no, not really. I mean, let's be honest here.
When you have coaching, and not only coaching, your head coach making decisions that are costing you football games, and everybody sees it except him, who will double down on it on a Monday. That's a problem.
Right.
If you lose to Philly, if you lose to Dallas, to Miami, to Green Bay, there's no shame in losing football games in the NFL. The problem we're discussing, not only this morning, but really for the last 3-4 weeks, is your head coach finds ways to lose you football games and has the gall to sit up there and say, really, we've been all these games. We've really been in all these games. It's really those one or two plays that we just got to make. And it's, no, dude. It's the one or two decisions that you are making that are preventing your football team from winning football games. And when we all come to that realization and understand that, I think we can have a better conversation. Because this is still, in my opinion, a pain in the ass team to play against.
Yeah.
They are able to run the football. They will have DeAndre Swift back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you know what he provides. You know what he brings to the table. I'm not saying they're going to win in Dallas. But you really want to salvage your season a little bit? Don't start 1-5. Don't start 1-6. Go out there and win a game nobody's giving you a chance to win. Yep. And you know what? To add to that, go and win a road game, Jeff, because clearly you haven't done that. You haven't done it yet under Dan Campbell.
That's the next step, really, for Dan. And even it doesn't help either that following the bye week or during the bye week, or actually following the Patriots game, he says, this is rock bottom. Like, this is rock bottom, and we have a lot of work to do, especially defensively. I know we talked with Aaron Glenn, and I don't want to let Aaron Glenn off the leash either. This is a big game for Aaron Glenn, AG, because everything we've been talking about this entire week and last week as well, for AG, this is an opportunity for him and for a lot of players as well. It's not just AG. Aiden Hutchinson, obviously, you want to see him play well against a Dallas offensive line that's not some juggernaut. But specifically AG, because Dan Campbell talked about it, they're changing some things up schematically. You want to see those implemented. You want to see it be effective. Because if this defense gets completely torched...
Let me address Genius. Let me address Genius over here in the chat. Justin Bauman.
Oh, gosh.
You are straight up lying. The very first thing Dan Campbell said after the Vikings game was that it was on him. Justin, he's been saying that every week and then following it up and making the same mistakes week after week after week.
Yeah,
and you know what he did after New England, Justin? He sat up there and said, you know what? We went for it 6 times on first down, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you know what? I really like those opportunities. They were in front of us. We just got to execute. The guy continues to go for it under any circumstance, whether it's at his own 40 on the road against a third-string rookie quarterback. 4th and 9, down 6-0, doesn't matter. He's going for it. See, Justin, this is your problem. You are too sensitive. And you are part of the problem because you make excuses for a man who sits up there. Imagine, Justin, you are my father. And I come home and I bring home a D- on my report card. And you say, Adam, son, can't do that. I said, you know what, Dad? It's on me. My bad. I'll do better next week. I follow up my D- with an F. Son, what the hell? Dad, it's on me. It's my mistake. I got you. Don't worry. I'm learning from my mistakes. I'll do better next time. I come home the next week. I didn't even take the exam. I didn't show up to school. Unbelievable. Favorite people in the world.
And that's the issue. I mean, Dan's been doing that since last year too. I mean, it's been almost 2 years.
Look, I don't mind.
Hey, it's on me.
I don't mind you being aggressive. There's a difference between being aggressive and stupid.
Right.
4th and 1 on your own 40 on the road against the Patriots, who are starting a third-string rookie quarterback.
In his first career
You have
start.
no business doing that. 4th and 9, no business doing that. I like the looks. Yeah, that's on me. Man, I regret the decision, man. Eats me alive, man.
Well, don't forget, Adam. I mean, he doesn't trust his defense. So
that is such...
He's going to put his defense in a compromising position.
Tell me that makes sense.
No,
to you.
it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
When we get back, we got to talk about Brad Holmes because I've read a lot on... I've read a lot of the news lately on Brad Holmes, his draft picks, his decision making, social media's reaction to him. I want to clear a few things up with Brad Holmes. Some warranted, some not warranted at all.
Okay.
So we'll get to that in just a bit. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Well, guys, for a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries are at Big Boy. It's not just a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim, the chili cheeseburger, as well as the bacon blue. But how about upgrading those fries, by the way? The chili cheese fries, the baked potato fries, the nacho fries, so on and so forth. Go to Big Boy, check it all out, and satisfy your taste buds at Big Boy.
The biggest rivalry in the state is almost here. That means one thing, the biggest tailgate party in the state. Join Woodward Sports for our tailgate takeover before the U of M versus State game on October 29th. Will Harbaugh and the boys pull out the win? Or is Tuck still coming? We will find out at the Big House. Michigan legend Braylon Edwards will be handing out food, prizes, and much more. So no matter what team you root for, come party with the network that does it best. The Woodward Sports Network. The tailgate takeover, powered by Custom Health Centers, Syntron, and Planet Fitness.
Woodward Sports, you see the name!
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Chili Pepper Standing is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. Don't forget to pick up the Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Kel Tan, and Swedish Beauty lotions. ChiliPepperStanding.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you to everybody joining us over at woodwardsports.com, to everybody in the Woodward Sports chat. We see ya. We see your comments. Mailbag coming up 9:50 later today. We'll make sure we'll get to all of you in the Woodward Sports chat and answer your questions. I want to talk about Brad Holmes a little bit, Jeff. There is a narrative going around that, his job now is becoming one that is being either scrutinized, questioned, whatever you may believe. And I've read a lot, both sides of the table. And I think both sides have interesting arguments. But what I will not allow is for anybody to say that Brad Holmes hasn't drafted enough for the now. Because my question to you is, how many starters, and say it off the top of your head, did Brad Holmes pull off in 2021? Go for it, Jeff.
I would say starters, 3. Confirmed.
Lee McNeil.
Yeah, 3.
Penei Sewell.
You have some guys that are rotational, like Derek Barnes.
Not worried about them,
starters,
but starters.
3.
3 starters in a draft. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That is a perfect, not only perfect, that is better than perfect for a draft. If you're able to pull 3 starters.
Yep.
All right, forward to 2022. Your first and second round pick have not played yet. I can't say anything about that. There's nothing I can say. I haven't seen anything. There's no substance to it outside of the fact that they're not available. Which, again, in an ideal world, that is not ideal. But you took Jameson Williams, understanding his injury, his recovery process.
You knew what you signed up for.
And it wasn't a problem until this team started losing football games. But you also have Aiden Hutchinson, who's a starter. You now have Kirby Joseph, a starter. Malcolm Rodriguez, the highest rated PFF linebacker, rookie linebacker, in the NFL. Starter. You potentially might walk away with 4 to 5 starters in your second draft. Brad Holmes didn't do enough in free agency, Adam. Look at the roster. What's Dan supposed to do? He's got to go for it on 4th down every time.
Excuses. That's what it sounds like to me.
You may have 8 starters by the end of November in 2 drafts. That isn't just good. That is beyond excellent. Name a team off the top of your head right now where you like the way they're built. Go for it.
Well, 2 off the top of my head, I'll go Bills and Chargers. Those are 2 great models for that.
Okay.
Examples to pull.
All right, well, let's pull up the Buffalo Bills, shall we?
Right.
Buffalo Bills, their regime started, I believe, in 2018. But we'll go back. We'll go back to 2017. 2017, they pulled Tre'Davious White in the 1st round and Matt Milano in the 5th round. That's it. 2 players.
So 2 starters.
In 2018, they pulled Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds.
2 more
2
starters.
starters.
Yep.
In 2019, they pulled Ed Oliver, Dawson Knox, Devin Singletary. 3 starters.
So the average so
2020.
far, 2 to 3.
2020. Tyler Bass, a kicker. AJ Espinenza, I would say 1. But 2021, Gregory Rousseau.
He's an
impact edge rusher.
Yep, he's a really,
starter.
really good.
I mean, there are players that you can't take for granted. But look at that, 2020, 2021, you get a starter. And 2022, Khalil Shakir, James Cook, Kyer Elam. Elam, to me, is a starter.
Yeah, he's
James
good.
Cook is the 2nd, 3rd option at times.
Rotational, yeah, he'll play him.
Khalil Shakir is 4th on the depth chart as a wide receiver. So they pulled technically 1 starter. They've pulled 1 starter the last 3 years. But the 2 years prior, when they were early on in their stages, they pulled 2 and 3. What have the Lions done? Very similar. Now, granted, the Bills went out and traded for Stephon Diggs, free agent signings. Now they signed Von Miller.
But we're not there yet.
Well, that's what is upcoming, and that's why no one is saying that they're playoff contenders. But this is a 6-7 win football team. That is what they are. And you are underachieving at the moment, and that is the concern. And not only is the win total a concern, it is how you are losing, which is directly related to your head coach's decisions. That's it. So if you're sitting here 2-3 or 3-2, none of you are talking about Brad Holmes or the talent. But because it's 1-4 and Dan Campbell makes you feel good, you have to look elsewhere and deflect blame and say, well, the talent's not there, Adam. The talent isn't there. Yeah, really? I think they're more talented than you give them credit for. And you could point out all the flaws, go for it. Teams like Detroit, Atlanta, Seattle, whoever you want, they all have flaws. So do the Texans. So do the Colts. Colts have their flaws. Granted, they're a little different. They're much further ahead, but still.
Right.
Every team has flaws. The Chargers have flaws. Your coaching is directly impacting your win result, win total on the field. Do you like the development of the offense? You absolutely do. Do you like some of your draft picks? You absolutely do. Would you like to see Aiden Hutchinson play better? You absolutely would. There are a lot of valid arguments across the board. Things we can agree on. But where you lose me is the GM conversation with $30 million in dead cap, who has fixed your cap since becoming the GM, who now has Detroit projected for one of the higher salary caps over the next few years. And all the fan base was asking for is a competitive football team that doesn't get blown out and doesn't make stupid decisions. That will probably win 6 to 7 games, which means you're a 10 to 11 loss team. That was the expectation in Detroit. Why is it changed? It's not because I'm telling you need to make the playoffs. It's absolutely not true. I'm not telling you have to win 9 games. That's absolutely not true. What I'm telling you is that you are underachieving 5 games in. Your coach is directly involved in losing you 3 of your games due to his coaching decisions. That's the conversation. Because if Dan is able to pull it out in Minnesota and force Seattle, I don't know, to punt once, or maybe not kick an onside kick or call a timeout before half against Philly, and you're 3-2, God forbid, nobody's talking about talent. Talking about how Dan Campbell's doing a hell of a job. The team's on the right path. They know it's not a contending team, but it's heading in the right direction. Am I missing something, Jeff?
No, and the reason why I've been quiet is I want to go look at the Falcons, their recent draft, because this is a team that you could argue started a year later. They traded Matt Ryan a year after we traded Stafford. So they're actually behind the 8 ball in terms of where we are as an organization compared to where the Falcons are as an organization. Started their rebuild a little later. But I'm looking at their last 2 drafts. 2021, they took Pitts, Richie Grant. Those are 2 starters. And that was it. 2 starters in 2021. They have other guys that are rotational contributors, but mainly Pitts and Richie Grant. This last draft, London, Arnold out of Penn State, good pass rusher. Troy Anderson, who they took in the 2nd round, hasn't really done anything. Desmond Ridder, all right. Tyler Algier, he's a contributor. But that's what, 3 starters. And they still have a better record than the Lions. So, again, it's confusing. I don't think Brad Holmes deserves really this right now. We haven't even gotten to this draft upcoming where we have 2 more first-round picks. So it's too premature to even criticize Brad. This upcoming offseason, he's going to have more money to spend. I think
this is funny to me.
It's too early.
This is funny
it's
to
too
me.
Early.
The defense is the problem. I agree. The defense hasn't been any good. But where was the complaints about the defense
last year
against Philly?
Even last year.
Was it not Dan Campbell who kicked an onside kick and gave him short field position? Was it not the timeout before halftime that gave Philly an extra possession that put you down 2 possessions? Where was the complaint about the defense against Washington, where you dominated them? Where was the complaint about the defense when you dominated Minnesota for 3.5 quarters? Where was the complaint about the defense?
Yeah, you're right. Until that
there was no
coverage.
complaint about the defense until the Seattle game where you couldn't force a punt. And you lost with an offense that gave up 45 points. That I agree with all of you. Pathetic performance by the defense. The defense only gave up one offensive touchdown after Dan Campbell had gone 0 for 6 on 4th down against the New England Patriots. One offensive touchdown. I didn't hear the complaints about the defense against New England. Again, say what you want, believe what you want. I'm telling you not only what I believe to be true, but what is clearly obvious that you are refusing to acknowledge, which is you are better than your record indicates. You should be further along than what your record would indicate. You've yet to win a road game with this head coach, yet I am supposed to buy in that he is the guy. With a 4-17-1 record, who through 22 games only matched one other Detroit Lions head coach in the history of the NFL with 4 games through 22 games.
Right.
Or excuse me, 4 wins through 22 games. And that is Marty Morningwig. 4-18. That is his company. That's who Dan Campbell belongs to through 22 games. But again, it's the talent's fault. It's the defense. Brad Holmes sucks. The defensive players suck. I get it. I get it. But I'll leave you with this. If you don't blow the game in Minnesota, if you somehow, some way force a punt against Seattle, hell, forget the Seattle game. Let's just say you won Minnesota. You would have been 2-1, lost 2 very winnable games, which would be frustrating, but you would be 2-3, showing progress, showing upside. You're a 1-4 football team.
Narrative's different.
That has never won on the road. Mm-hmm. Now going on the road against Dallas, you tell me.
They were
not making it up.
If they were 2-3,
I don't think anybody's having this conversation.
Yeah, you might be right there.
Easy to say the defense, this and that.
No one said the defense is a top 10 defense. Like, that's why people are getting it mixed construed. We're just asking simply.
The defense did fine against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Washington. Yeah. New England, they played fine.
Minnesota, you're correct. Like, that game was close to the
Washington,
end.
they dominated Washington.
And then they shut out Washington
So
the
again,
first half,
I have 3 games where your defense played...
They overachieved.
Better than you thought.
Right.
And you're 0-3 in those games. Or excuse me, 1-2. Excuse me, I apologize. You beat Washington. But I'm the guy that's just trying to go after Dan. It's my fault.
Yeah, you're the meanie.
I'm the meanie.
Stop being a meanie.
Because Dan Campbell is 4-17-1 through 22 games. And the only other Lions head coach to have 4 wins through 22 games in the history of the franchise is Marty Morningwig. Yeah, I have zero reason to be concerned. Dan Campbell deserves year 3. He's not coaching for his job. I take back everything I've ever said. He's doing a hell of a job. I have uber confidence in him. It's Aaron Glenn's fault. It's the defensive player's fault. It's Aiden Hutchinson's fault. It's Brad Holmes' fault. It's Sheila Ford's fault. It's not Dan Campbell's fault. When we get back, top of the hour, the Detroit Pistons, we got to get back to them. My goodness.
People call in, by the way.
Great energy. 313-552-6322. Fish, you can send them up once we get back from the break. But the young core, where does it map out to? Early takeaways, the future of the team. 9:15, we got MicroMike joining us this morning. Can't wait to talk to Mike. 9:30, Amon-Ra St. Brown. We have to talk about him. And then, of course, Thursday Night Football at 9:40. Going to be a jam-packed second hour. Stay tuned. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Odds Trader.
Well, guys, if you bet on that Pistons game last night like I did, parlay didn't hit. But doesn't mean you can't stop betting. Head to oddstrader.com. Because it's the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price from every game for multiple sports books. Thursday Night Football on tonight. You got, Arizona taking on New Orleans. Drop some money. Go bet. And use Odds Trader. Very convenient. It's one of my favorite things to do. I don't bet too much, but when I do, I use Odds Trader. OddsTrader.com right now for your best bet.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man!
I just need you to trust me, that's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Time to talk about Swiss. Not Ham and Swiss. Swiss Insurance Group. Did you know that 1 in 6 kids will develop a medical condition that makes them uninsurable? Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket costs to insure your children. Check with Mark at Swiss Insurance and make sure your family is protected.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Top of the hour. Jeff, the Detroit Pistons gave you a glimpse of what they could be.
Right.
No, they didn't go out and beat the Celtics or the Nets or the Nuggets, the Warriors. They went out and beat the Magic. Right. Nothing crazy.
Pretty much
it's
the
not
same.
so much about the win, but what Ivey gave you, what Duren gave you. We talk about timeline. Last night was the epitome of fans being patient, believing in a process that Troy Weaver has built, and Troy Weaver putting out a product that the fan then can turn around and say, I support, I buy in, I can see where it's going. See, you lose me as a fan, you will lose me, whoever you are, when I can't see where you're going. When I don't see winning in the future. When I lose the belief that you are able to make competent decisions. Al Avila notably, right? Jeff Blashill notably, right? Let's be honest here. Stan Van Gundy. Even Dumar's down the stretch. Quinn and Patricia. When you don't see it, you call it like it is, and you stop buying the product. The Pistons have given you every reason to buy their product. And I'm all for it, Jeff.
And it means even more when you see the selections by Troy Weaver making an impact right away. I mean, we saw last year, obviously, Cade Cunningham. Before that, you see Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes. Like, you're finding guys in every draft. Three guys in the first draft, 3 first-round picks. You follow it up with Cade. You get Isaiah Livers in the second. And then you follow it up again, and you get Ivey and Duren. And again, this doesn't change my expectations. I know we kind of joked with Fish earlier about it. You beat the Magic, which to me, it is significant because the Magic, again, they're a similar stage than the Pistons. Very similar stage. They're both in rebuilds. They both have a very young core. They both have aspirations to challenge for the play-in tournament. They might both just miss out. But it means something. I mean, it means something for these young guys, especially all offseason, all training camp. You go in and you get a win. Especially with Dwayne Casey. Yes, if you want to criticize the rotations, okay, fine. They still get a win at home. And the 2 guys that we talked about coming into the game look damn good. And really, that's the biggest thing to take away, is Duren and Ivey. And again, the thing I've always said is it's hard to project this team because the team's so young. You don't know what you're getting out of a lot of these guys, especially, like I said, Cade, Sadiq. I mean, these guys, you don't know how they're going to develop. But what I do know is when you sprinkle in some veterans around them, like Bojan, who can go 6 of 10 from 3 and score 24, it does. It helps your team out. And not only that, this team, man, is going to have a lot of games where you may be up 15 points going into the fourth quarter. You may lose. You may be down 15 points in the fourth quarter. You may win. I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs this season, but the overall takeaway is player development. how are these guys taking the next step? Are they learning how to close games? Are they learning how to win? And I think you have the best coach to do that. I mean, a guy who's a former coach of the year, a man who has had multiple deep playoff runs, stopped by LeBron James, but still an experienced head coach, a guy who's a teacher, an educator. Really, I wouldn't pick any other coach for this current position at the moment for what they need. So a lot of things you take away, but the overall thing, like you said, Adam, is the fans are getting behind a product. And a lot of that has to do with who they're taking in the draft. And the funny thing is, they haven't really spent money yet. Like, they're going to have a lot of money this offseason to go out and spend or trade. And if by the deadline you trade away Bojan, you get assets. Like, there's so many things. And this is kind of like, I'm not saying Weaver's on that pedestal of Yzerman, but you kind of see the direction they're going in. You have a young core. You surround them with veterans.
Nobody's on that pedestal because Steve has
he's done it
as a GM.
But
right?
I'm talking about their ideology.
I understand
how they approach it is very similar, and that's what you can praise. Is Troy Weaver making these moves? And as of right now, this is the deepest team I've seen in years, with a plethora of young talent. And that's the exciting part. Is you have 8 guys, 7, 8 guys that you know are going to be in the rotation, and you still have 2 or 3 guys that could be in the rotation. So again, no Bagley, no Burks. No Bagley, no Burks. Who else am I missing? Who was out last night?
Bagley, Knox.
Somebody else.
No, excuse me. Bagley, Burks, and
why am I blanking?
I'm blanking on him too. The dude. What's his face? Whatever. Not important.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, you're missing some guys. They still showed up. That was the overall point. But yeah, a lot of things to be excited for. Even if they go to New York, they go on the road. They're probably going to struggle especially for a young team. They're going to play better at home.
Noel and Livers.
Yeah, Livers. That's who it was. Thank you guys. Thank you, Chad. It was Livers. That's who I was going with. Burks, Livers, and Bagley. I don't know why I had a blank there, but still, that means something. I mean, you go out, you win at home without those 3 guys. Those are 3 rotational pieces. So give them credit where it's due.
All right, here's where I'm at. I said it earlier to start the show. When you give your fan base a reason to buy in, they will buy in. And there is not a better sports town, in my opinion, than Detroit. Detroit, let's not forget, is home to the '84 World Series winning Tigers, the 2006 World Series runner-up Detroit Tigers, the Tigers that reached the World Series again in the early 2010s, that had arguably one of the best teams in 2013. Let's not forget the history that this fan base is typically, if you're a Lions fan, you're probably a Tigers, a Pistons fan, right? I could just a general assumption here. Mm-hmm. Fair enough?
Right.
You've witnessed the bad boy Pistons. You've seen Dumars take over and build a going-to-work Piston team that went to 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals. You've witnessed the Red Wings dominate the NHL for 2+ decades. Make the playoffs every year. Multiple Stanley Cups, back-to-back Stanley Cups. That is Detroit sports. Now, of course, there's the Lions who have never accomplished anything. We all understand this. But where I'm going here is when you give your fan base a product to believe in, whether it's the Pistons, the Lions, the Tigers, hell, Michigan football, doesn't matter. When you give them something to buy into, they will buy in. And as long as you are not out there directly sabotaging it, there isn't an issue. You think Tigers fans wouldn't kill for an ALCS matchup tomorrow night? Of course they would. Even if they lost. To experience that type of baseball again. To experience a deep playoff run with the Red Wings. To experience a Game 6 at LCA for the Detroit Pistons. I could confidently tell you, you are closer with all of those teams at the moment than you are with the Detroit Lions.
True.
Giving your fan base a product to buy in is so important. It's so important. You look at Michigan State and Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker, year 1, COVID year. What did he do? That gave you some bit of, I would say, positive note on a COVID year that wasn't good at all. He beat Michigan. That's it. Okay. And then what? 11-2. Beat Michigan again. Chick-fil-A Bowl. Confident in Mel. Now, it's a bad season for Michigan State. They're 3-4. Yeah, absolutely. But you've seen the product he can give you. So there's no reason why anybody should be selling stock on Mel Tucker Fair.
Right. You saw the potential.
Jim Harbaugh, 10 wins a season. Runner-ups to Ohio State every year. Finally breaks through last season. You have no reason to doubt Jim Harbaugh anymore. Buying in the product. To buy in a product fully, you have to see where it's going, and you have to see results along the way. Detroit's in a good position, especially the Pistons. Especially the Detroit Pistons. By the way, question for you. Knox, not the most impressive debut.
And by the way,
but
a lot of those guys aren't going to be playing. All right, let's get that straight. I get Knox was probably playing. He's taking Livers' minutes. I mean, let's be honest here. Knox, listen, Knox is one of those guys, young, you see the potential, but my God, some of the plays he had yesterday specifically, he is new to the team, but on top of that, he's only playing because Livers isn't here. So I'm not too concerned about it. I know people were talking about it. They were doing him dirty. Even the arena, they were not happy with Knox, especially just his decision-making. Not even just missing shots, just what he was doing. But again, playing for Livers, Bagley's out. Like I said, Burks is out. It's going to be this isn't even the rotation you're going to have deep in the season. So a lot of things to be excited about, but I wouldn't stress about Knox or Corey Joseph or anything like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, look, we got MicroMike coming up in just a little bit. Can't wait to talk to Mike, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and DeAndre Swift's injury status heading into Dallas at 9:30, Thursday Night Football at 9:40, and then, of course, Mailbag. Get all of your questions in the Woodward Sports chat, and we'll answer them at 9:50. Having said that, Jeff, tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Big Frog.
Well, guys, Big Frog, you got to check it out because you can get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. If you check out Big Frog, in Novi, stop in, tell them your friends at Woodward Sports sent you. They'll print one out for you on the spot. So go to Big Frog in Novi today, get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the three biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Let me tell you about our friends at Alta, because guys, at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, well, Alta Red has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you to everybody watching over at woodwardsports.com. Appreciate it as always. Let's get to MicroMike. We are joined by a good friend of the show, a man who sucks at his Dan Campbell impersonation, but we let it slide, and that is MicroMike. Mike, good morning, buddy.
Yay, go Lions.
Hey, good morning, fellas, and a happy birthday, Jeff. Make sure everybody hit that like button. Get those birthday wishes up by
do it for Iafrate.
Like button. It's free. Let's go. And yes, I do suck at the Dan Campbell impersonation. That's why I'm not doing that video.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you, man.
Oh, God.
And hit the like button, like Mike said.
All right, Mike, let's start with this. Dak Prescott coming off his injury. Dan Campbell's never won on the road. Your defense has had a week and a half basically to prepare for Dallas, which offensively isn't much of a threat. I don't want to be the guy that sits here and says the Lions can win this football game, but a rusty Dak Prescott, a rusty Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, who's dealing with a hip issue, an offensive line that really is struggling at times throughout the year. Mike, you seeing what I'm seeing?
I see what you're seeing, but I don't really have the eyes of Dan Campbell and this team, so I'm still seeing a loss here for the Detroit Lions going on the road. Look, if you look at the Dallas Cowboys, their defense is really freaking good. They can get after the quarterback with Micah Parsons with 6 sacks. They get after the quarterback with Dorrance Armstrong and DeMarcus Lawrence between 5 and 3 sacks. Their defense is stout. They're +2 in the turnover differential, and the Lions are -2. It's going to be a real difficult game for the Lions to travel to Dallas and beat the 4-2 team who is in the NFC East, and they're battling it out over there as one of the best divisions in the NFL.
Fair enough. Let me pivot here. So I went on a little bit of a tirade earlier in the show, as I always do apparently. And I brought up Brad Holmes, his draft picks, 3 starters in the first draft. And I'm not talking about 3 average starters, 3 capable starters, Aleem, Panay, and Amon-Ra. You look at this draft, Pascal and Jameson Williams have not suited up yet, so I really can't have an opinion outside of I haven't seen them. And yes, it is frustrating that they're not on the field, but the reality is Malcolm Rodriguez is the highest rated rookie linebacker according to PFF. The reality is Kirby Joseph is now starting for your football team, who I believe can be better than what he's shown so far. Hutchinson, I believe, can improve given what he's shown so far. I don't think he's played to the level you would have hoped, but I do think there is still room for improvement there. I'm not too concerned. So where I'm at, Mike, and I want to know your thoughts, if this is a 2-3 or 3-2 football team, and Dan Campbell doesn't make the decisions he's made, whether it's on 4th down, or the onside kick, or the timeout before half, or the decision on 4th down to attempt a field goal with a kicker who had only kicked 5 field goals in his career from 50+ prior to that to me, the whole conversation has changed. We're not talking about talent. We, meaning you and I and Jeff, are not talking about anything other than the Lions are heading in the right direction. Dan Campbell looks like he's learned from his mistakes from a year ago, yada, yada, yada. But here we are having a conversation on a Thursday. He has still yet to win a game on the road. He's blown multiple games this year, yet I'm now hearing it's Aiden Hutchinson's fault, Malcolm Rodriguez's fault, Brad Holmes' fault, Sheila Ford's fault, my fault, Jeff's fault, your fault. It's everybody's fault except the head coach, who's responsible at the end of the day. Help me.
I tell you what, I was definitely getting blamed for the Lions' losses. The fans were getting blamed for the Lions' losses because we're so negative. That's the reason why we're losing. I literally got told this a couple days ago. Look, when it comes to starting a 1-4 and what happened last year and this year, everybody deserves a little bit of blame. I don't know how much blame you want to put on every single individual that's involved with this franchise. But just like you're saying, Dan Campbell had an opportunity to win the Vikings game. He had an opportunity to go ahead and punt on a 4th and 9, or at least attempt for a field goal, and decided to do some dumb decisions that resulted in this 1-4 start. We should be 2-3 in my opinion. I think that would be a logical win-loss record, and to be sitting at 1-4, it's underperforming from the expectations that we had from last year. All we want to do as Lions fans is just see progress. That is it. But right now we're not seeing progress. I see regression. The defense has gotten worse. There's a lot of injuries. There's bad calls made by the head coach, inappropriate times to take timeouts. A lot of issues regarding this team, and it doesn't look like it's going to get better against the Dallas Cowboys, against the Miami Dolphins, against the Green Bay Packers. Right now I'm getting told that 1-16 is acceptable. How would that be acceptable? That means you got blown out, or at least swept by the Chicago Bears and beaten by the Carolina Panthers. The expectations should be a little bit higher. I think it should be 7 wins. But right now, when you look at what's taken place, reality sets in, it's 3-4, and that's unacceptable.
Mike, this is why I love talking to you, because unlike some Lions fans out there, you'll tell it like it is. And listen, I love your content, by the way, and I want to ask you, Mike, AG, this is the big thing, because Dan talked about it all week at his press conferences, is how, him and AG, they've changed things schematically, defensively, and I get it, you're going to face Dak Prescott coming back for his first game since week 1. What does AG, and I shouldn't say AG, but the defense and AG need to do for you to come back Monday or do your post game and at least not want to completely shoot Aaron Glenn out of a cannon? What needs to happen with this defense for you to be a little more optimistic, if that's even possible with this defense?
Optimistic is a very difficult word to describe. We're going against an offense in the Dallas Cowboys that's not good. It's comparable to the New England Patriots. If you look at what they got going on there, it's 18.3 points per game. That's 23rd in the NFL. 300 yards. That's 27th in the NFL. 182 passing yards, 27 in the NFL, and rushing yards, 118-16 in the NFL. So what I want to see from this defense and Aaron Glenn is, first, force them to punt more than twice in a game. Ridiculous to just continue to allow teams to be able to score, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. Force some punts. Set the edges. We cannot allow running backs to just clear the edges in every single running play. It has been plaguing this team for this whole season, and let's admit, last year as well. And we cannot allow Dak Prescott, who's coming back from an injury, to be standing in the pocket and be mobile and to throw their second, third, fourth reads. We got to be able to put pressure on Dak Prescott, and we got to be able to force punts to give me some hope, because this defense right now is going against a weak offense. Do the damn job, get it done on Sunday, make some punts, force some plays, maybe get a turnover. That will put some hope, at least into some Lions fans and myself as well.
Fair enough. Look, Mike, the reality is, I mentioned buying into a product, right? And what you saw over the offseason was Lions fans, I believe, rightfully so, buying into the product. Talent on offense, a young up-and-coming coordinator who was going into his first season. Jared Goff, who I believed was going to have a better season. There were a lot of reasons to be bought in more. You addressed a few pieces on the defense. There were a lot of expectations for Jeff Okudah coming back, Aiden Hutchinson being added to the fold, Charles Harris, Michael Brockers, Malcolm Rodriguez potentially starting, Tracy Walker, of course, prior to his injury. There were things that you could buy into, and I believe it was rightfully so. But what I cannot buy into are the same mistakes week in and week out. And look, Brandon Staley, they're 4-2 out in Los Angeles, but I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing negligible coaching decisions. I don't like it. And you can tell me it's the new era, it's analytics, it's modern football, it's this, and that. You know what Pete Carroll did against the Lions? He kicked field goals. You know what Bill Belichick did against the Lions? He kicked field goals. You know what Minnesota did against the Lions? They punted. And they took their field goal attempts, even though they missed them. That's what the Vikings did. That's what the Patriots did. That's what the Seahawks did. That's what the Eagles did. But in Detroit, it needs to be aggressive. I can't buy in to a coach that continues to make the same mistakes. Is it fixable, or do you just see a pattern that will continue on for the rest of the year and it'll likely be covered up by, oh, well, the defense isn't good enough? Mike? Did we lose you?
Hey, the definition of insanity right there is doing everything over and over again and expecting a different result. Going forward on fourth down on every single fourth down play is unacceptable. Look, I like aggressive play, and I'm sure a lot of subscribers in the chat likes aggressive play. There's times to be aggressive, but there's times not to be. There's times to think critical. 4th and 9 is an unacceptable time to go for it on fourth down, knowing that the defense did decent from last week against the New England Patriots. The pandemic right now in the NFL and college is a lot of fourth down plays. What in the hell is going on? Everyone seems to want to go on fourth down at this point. Be smart, play smart. Okay, this is not Madden football. This is not where you can just turn around and score 10 touchdowns in 5 minutes. That's not what generally occurs. Let's go ahead and play smart with special teams and defense as well. We do have a very good punter, Jack Fox. He's the GOAT. The guy is really good. Let's utilize his skill set, pin people back. We did that against the Washington game, folks. We got a safety. That's the type of stuff I would like to see from the Detroit Lions going forward. So, Dan Campbell, correct your mistakes, please. It is hurting the team. We all are rooting for you. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to see victories. But when you're shooting yourselves in the foot, it's hurting us. Just stop the idiotic play calling, the dumb fourth downs, and move forward. I think we'll have an opportunity to win if you do that. But if you consistently do it, hey, you need to go get Dwayne The Rock Johnson to give you a rock bottom, because that's the real rock bottom.
And Mike, especially, I want to ask you, because it is kind of a strength on strength this week. You have the offensive line for the Detroit Lions, our best unit, facing the Dallas Cowboys' best unit, which is their defensive line. And we know what they've been able to do this year and how they've been terrorizing quarterbacks. Didn't really get to Jalen Hurts all that much, but obviously Jalen Hurts, not a lot of guys do get to Jalen Hurts as it is. But I want to ask you, how important is this game? Because we talk about the Lions' defensive line against that Cowboys' offensive line, which has struggled at times. How important is it for the Lions to at least win in the trenches? Because we talked about it, another thing, too. With Jared Goff, you got to keep him clean. You can't allow Micah Parsons to wreck this game. What are your expectations for that battle up front on both sides of the ball this week against Dallas?
The Detroit Lions' offensive line have a massive task ahead of them on Sunday. Again, just like I was saying, you got Micah Parsons, you got Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence. These are pass rushers that love sacking the quarterback. They're really good at it. They got a really good defensive scheme. They're aggressive. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, and the rest of the offensive line have a battle on Sunday for the victory or loss of this game. It's all going to come down to the trenches. If Jared Goff is running for his life or he's unable to read any of his progressions, we're going to lose the game. That's exactly what happened with the New England Patriots. He got flustered. Failure on offense. You have to protect and open up the run game for DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. And we've been saying this for defensive line all season long. We are getting John Kaminsky. It looks like he is returning. And when he was in with Aiden Hutchinson was getting opportunities to sack the quarterback. So with Dak Prescott coming back from injury, maybe they finally can break through and get some sacks, at least some pressures, and force this bad offense to maybe throw an errant throw. Maybe get a turnover that potentially could change the tide for this game. So it's all going to come down to offensive defensive line on Sunday.
Fair enough. Well, Mike, can't thank you enough for joining us this morning. Appreciate it as always. You enjoy your weekend. We'll definitely keep up over the weekend. Maybe I'll tune in for your watch along and see you rage. Who knows?
Hey, depending on how it goes, you might have to. I'm going to be honest with you.
How do you not?
Mike is going to tell it like it is.
Mike, I do want to see you do a Dan Campbell impersonation, though, so I'm expecting a video. But we'll talk soon, okay, buddy?
You might win, Mike. Don't do it. It's not fair.
Hey, if I was to do it and I was to win, I'd just give it out to someone else out there. I definitely
you're so nice.
Look at Mike,
man. Look at this guy.
There for you. But everybody have a great
All right, it's
weekend.
election
Happy
season.
Birthday,
We know.
Jeff. Yes. Look, it's given away, right? You got to give aways. But I appreciate everybody. Have a freaking great weekend and see me rage on Sunday.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Appreciate everything. Take care, buddy. All right, when we get back, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, we got to talk some Pistons as well. Jakub Vrána's situation, a lot more to come. But before we go, I got to tell you about where we'll be next Wednesday, live. And that's at Planet Fitness out on Ryan Road in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Wednesday, October 26th, we'll be live at the Planet Fitness, giving away Michigan versus Michigan State tickets with a 1-year free Black Card membership, a signed Darren McCarty jersey, a signed Braylon Edwards jersey, all day while we're broadcasting live from Planet Fitness. It's going to be a great day. Come out, hang out, get some free swag. It's going to be a great day. We'll see you guys in just a bit.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Win front row tickets to see Detroit versus Green Bay to enter, record a video of yourself doing a Dan Campbell impersonation. Man. Post it on Instagram or Twitter, hell, even on TikTok, and make sure you use hashtag Woodward Front Row. That's Woodward Front Row is the hashtag. And make sure you're following Woodward Sports on all of the social medias, and we will select 3 winners, each of which will get 2 front row tickets. The winner will be announced November 4th. I look forward to seeing all of your Dan Campbell impersonations.
Man.
And we are back. 9:30 in the morning on a beautiful Thursday. Man.
Speaking of beautiful, it isn't going to be beautiful this weekend. It's going to be in the 70s.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is good? Michigan.
It's going to be in the
That's Michigan
70s
for you, buddy.
Fahrenheit, about 22 Celsius. Beautiful weather. So go enjoy it.
Let me ask you this. Are you a fan of the pumpkin, what is it?
Pumpkin
latte?
spice?
Is that a thing?
Yes, it is a thing.
Yeah, it's a huge. It's a huge thing.
Is that a guy thing or a girl thing? Or both?
I don't know. Is it sexist if I said I feel like it's more?
Yeah, I would think it's more of a girl thing, but I think guys drink it too.
Yeah, you know.
I've never tried it before.
Get a little pumpkin spice latte.
Like that.
You know what I mean?
By the way,
yourself a little bit.
One month to the World Cup. Glorious.
I don't know how I feel. I don't.
I don't know how I feel
rooting
either.
hard for the U.S. I hope they do well, but
Yeah, I don't know they could.
I'm not really looking forward to it. It's just such an awkward time of the year to have a World
No,
Cup.
I know. It's smacked in the middle of American
what's
football.
funny?
so-
WoodwardSports.com chat. Jesse Adams. Adam, you're so sheltered.
Bro, what do you want from me?
I feel like
I
Adam
literally
doesn't-
work 7 days a week, all right? I do this damn show with this guy,
Yeah.
and then I got to deal with fish every day.
Hi.
By the way, your tweet, I died this week.
Which one?
Which one?
Yesterday, you're like fish tried going off my
yeah.
Pistons fan. I was at LCA laughing my ass off when I read your tweet. Me and Mike too. We all were laughing. I'm like, Adam, it's on point, on character.
It is.
All right, I do live under a rock. So what? So what? I'd rather live under a rock
be
than
fair,
know what a pumpkin spice latte tastes like.
Yeah, I haven't tried it either,
Fish,
but I
shut the
at
hell
least
up.
know what it is.
Who's your favorite football player? Broder in the chat is asking.
European football player?
Like soccer player.
Favorite player? I mean, I like watching Holland. He's pretty good.
He's really good. That's a good answer, buddy.
He's gonna win the Ballon d'Or, by the way.
Oh, easily.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't.
Easily.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's not fair how good he is.
No.
But all good. All good. I hope Man City never win Champions League, by the way.
I
That is
don't
my
know.
one
I don't
thing
know if they
always
will.
wanna see happen.
I don't know if they will. You
Never.
want to see it happen or never?
Never see it
I don't know
happen.
if it will.
Yeah.
By the
All
way,
right.
did you see Pep Guardiola awkward fan interaction in an elevator?
I
Pretty
didn't
funny.
know. I live under a rock, buddy. I don't know what a pumpkin spice latte is. I don't know how you expect me to know what that video is.
Because you're on the Twitters every day. I see you tweeting every 6 seconds.
I don't
Saying
tweet.
how great the Pistons are and pray for Vrána and F this and you're an idiot and go back to school.
The only person
and
that makes me swear is you, buddy, just so you know.
Go to your Twitters. You're swearing at people every 7 seconds. Quote tweeting different
7
people
seconds.
doing stupid stuff and saying go back to your home and putting stats up and it's very informational.
Mike G says, Adam, let Terry take you to the Eastern Market. You know Terry's awesome.
Eastern Market again?
Terry goes out. He
Did you say
checks out
what
the
the
Eastern
Eastern Market is?
They-
Where?
Yeah, what is it? Is it like a district or something? or-
Yeah, they got, like, for example, Terry will go over there and he tried like a couple different drinks he told me about. Like,
Oh, so it's like a bar?
There's different things. There's,
not really.
It's not a bar, but there's
Yeah.
different things to do. He was like, yeah, there's a drink
So
called
it's like Chinatown, basically, that kind of
Chinatown.
I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
use that.
It's a question.
It is a
I don't
question.
know.
Yeah,
So I'm asking
you are
questions
under
so
a
I can
rock.
understand more.
I like that.
So when I go there, I know what I'm expecting. Yes or no?
I love you.
Have you been to outdoors? Have you been to outdoor shopping? Have you been to outdoor shopping malls?
You mean an outlet?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. If that's what it's called, an outlet.
Yeah, it's similar to that.
Well, what's an outdoor shopping mall?
Have you been to Meijer? I mean, have you been to Walmart? Do you know?
We are
Target? Where has this guy at?
What kind of question is this?
Westfall, you're free to chime in if you want.
Oh God.
You don't have to.
I'm salty. That ain't no Chinatown in Detroit.
Oh
my
God.
That's
Has
why I
Adam tried
love
the
you.
Detroit style
Never
pizza? I
change.
have. It was okay. I mean, it's kind of overrated.
Did you try the real?
It was. I mean, we tried it. Yeah,
You
we
tried
got
it with
from
the
Buddy's.
sauce on top. Okay,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
you go.
We got
Good.
it from Buddy's.
Good,
It was good. Don't get me wrong, but That's not something I'm going to go out of my way in order.
Hey, Jimmy V from Woodward says Adham doesn't even have a green card to travel around Detroit.
Oh, God. Oh,
Dude,
God.
Don't never change, Adam. Never change. I love you.
I don't know what you guys want from me. I really don't.
You go, what's an out? What'd you say? What?
Yeah, he said outlet. What's an outlet?
Thank you.
or
Somebody
something?
in the chat finally answered. Adam, Eastern Market is a market.
Yeah.
Fruit, veggies, homemade stuff, nice watering holes there too. If you like mussels, hit Vivos.
So that means you've never heard of a market
there,
then?
You know, you could go out there.
I didn't know that's what it was.
It's
That's
it's
why I'm
in the
asking
name.
questions.
It's in the name, Eastern Market.
It's a market.
Saturday morning, you know they have markets around town in several different cities.
No, my
you go
wife
there,
probably
you grab
knows
some
about that.
fruits
I
and
don't.
vegetables, you mingle with some people.
I work Saturday morning, so no, I don't know. My wife probably knows.
But you don't drive by them because you're driving at what, 9 a.m.?
7.
Okay. I'll give you a slight pass. Still not a full pass,
Thanks.
though.
Thanks, Fish.
You're welcome.
God bless.
Still, you don't know what Eastern Market is. Oh man, it hurts. Happy birthday,
Fish will
Jeff.
hold that against you. Watch, that'll be Fish's
Have
strong
all
card.
of you in the room been there, Jeff?
I've been there once. I'm not like this.
I haven't been there, but I know what it
Eastern
is.
Market.
I have not been to Eastern Market.
Yeah, I haven't been there. But I know what it
Look
is.
what you did, Alex. Now he doesn't feel well.
I haven't been there, but I know what it is.
That's fair.
Just
But,
like
okay,
Belle
so do you
Isle.
know what it is, Alex?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, so I
I've driven
am the
around
messed up
it and
person.
stuff. I
But
just
it-
never really been there.
It's very similar to Belle Isle. I've never been there, but I know what Belle Isle is.
Pistons fan 11 says, "Get Adam to the Eastern Market tailgate." Oh, that'd be a
Oh,
blast.
yeah.
Adam down there, going off about Dan Campbell in front of all the
help us.
Lions fans.
God help us all. All right, we lost track of time.
Yeah, I know. Can we just?
I want to talk
you
about
took
Jakub Vrána a little bit.
Yeah, we got to get to this.
I'm not going to speculate because it's a personal issue.
Right.
I'm not going to say it's alcohol. I'm not going to say it's drugs. I'm not going to say it's anything. I don't know. What I do know is it's very unfortunate. He's so young. And all you can do is just wish him the best. And that's really tough to see this early in the season. But you know what? I mean, there are no positives in somebody having to do this outside of recovering. But Filip Zadina, probably going to get more ice time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching. I'm intrigued.
And it means, other guys are going to get opportunities. But
Soderblom, more ice time.
Yep.
You're going to see a lot more ice time for some of these guys.
Next man up.
To answer your question, that guy in the Woodward Sports chat, what happened? I'm under a rock on this one. They say it was a problem before he even came to Detroit, but I don't know whether it's alcohol, drugs. I'm not going to sit here and speculate. I'm just going to respect the fact that he needs a few weeks, maybe a few months, who knows. Just wish him nothing but the best, and hopefully this rehab process helps him. That's really unfortunate.
In the indefinite period, too. It's unfortunate, especially for a guy we talked about. He's going to be a 30, 40 goal scorer. But again, this is his personal things he's dealing with. It's something we got to speculate on. I know it's the only thing that's confusing is the NHLPA's player assistance program it varies. Like you said, it could be substance abuse, it could be mental health. So I think it's too early to even sit here and try and speculate. But nonetheless, thoughts and prayers with Jakub Vrána, because he's a hell of a player.
I'm going to go home today and tell my wife. I'm going to go home today and tell my wife, hey, honey, what do you think about going to the Eastern Market on Saturday? And see what she says. And if she knows, I'm going to lose my mind. Because I've never been there. So I'm
Has your wife
assuming
been there?
I don't know.
Oh.
I have to ask now. Now I'm curious.
I mean, she probably knows what it is.
Yeah, maybe not. Who knows? When we get back, Thursday Night Football, Alvin Kamara and the New Orleans Saints visit Kyler Murray and a returning DeAndre Hopkins, by the way. And the Arizona Cardinals. Great Thursday night matchup. I'm hoping it's not a snooze fest. We'll give you good prop bets for tonight. We'll talk about the game, that and so much more. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
Let me talk about it because, guys, our friends at SMA help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight that stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, please tell them or even yourself to head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Listen, summer's over, and if you still feel like you're a little out of shape, well, I have the solution for you. Custom Health Centers, they take the willpower out of weight loss, whether you need to lose 20 or even 120. You see, if you're watching on WoodwardSports.com, Kyle lost 38 pounds. Custom Health Centers will help you do it quickly and safely. Safely is the key. Go to CustomHealthCenters.com or give them a call today, 844-789-THIN. That's 844-789-THIN. For more information.
Happy birthday, Jeff Iafrate.
Thank you, Fish. We're back here on the Woodward Sports Network for the Morning Woodward Show. And guys, I listen, this Thursday night football stuff over the last couple weeks, I can't wrap my head around it. Not only have the Broncos had multiple primetime games, but we had to watch back-to-back snooze fests last week. So I want to ask you guys in the chat, and this is just something funny. You can put a poll too, because we're not taking callers. You can get rid of the caller poll. Are you watching tonight? After what you saw Monday and last Thursday.
Might tap in for like 2 minutes.
Because I've talked with a lot of different people, Neil Rule being one of them, who, for his answer, I will not participate in these Thursday night games.
Yeah, he doesn't participate.
If they're atrocious. But then I talked to Stick.
He only participates in good games.
Then I talked to Stick, who, and listen, I'm not talking about watching for fantasy purposes. If you have no fantasy ties to this game, are you tuning in? And I talked to Stick, and Stick's opinion is, you know what, I'll watch anything. I do not care what is on TV.
He doesn't care whether it's Wednesday.
I watched Washington and Chicago. And I'm watching anything,
and
boys.
I tend to agree with him. Are you watching? And I see Wyatt in the chat tonight. No, college football instead.
Yeah, there is a good game tonight. I got to figure out who it is.
Who's playing tonight? College football.
Let me figure it out. I know it's a.
Well, let me tell you who I got playing tonight in this game.
Because see, the fantasy implications you got to watch.
My whole team.
Virginia, Georgia Tech.
And
not terrible.
Alex, get ready for a poll.
Oh boy.
Who should Adham start?
Oh no.
Chris Olave or Terry McLaurin. And I'm going to read off my lineup, so don't answer yet. Post it, but don't answer yet. This is my lineup. Kyler Murray, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. So obviously I'm starting D-Hop and Kyler tonight. That's a given. Alvin Kamara also going tonight. Derrick Henry. I got Noah Fant at tight end. Dallas Goedert's on a bye week. And then Terry McLaurin at my flex. I am nervous to start Chris Olave, but Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry are out. How do I not start Chris Olave?
Oh, that's it.
Do I start Chris Olave or Terry McLaurin, who gets Taylor Heineke back, who loves Terry McLaurin?
He does. He loves Terry.
What do I do? Do I start Olave or Terry McLaurin? I want to know.
The question I think that decides that is who are the defenses. So you got Olave facing Arizona.
McLaurin's going up against Green Bay. Jair Alexander.
Yeah, I would probably lean Olave, if I'm being honest with you.
But if I do that, I'm starting 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting 4 players tonight. Kyler, D-Hop, Kamara, and Olave if I do it.
Ooh. And do you trust? It's like, this is what ultimately, it's tough because you're right. Heineke loves McLaurin, but do you trust Heineke or do you even trust Andy Dalton?
Dalton's not playing.
Oh, it's Jameis?
I'm not sure who's starting tonight.
Oh, that's a problem. Like, you're going to need to find out that information.
Let's see. Andy Dalton is questionable at the moment.
Uh-oh.
But signs are leaning towards...
Taysom Hill, we're out.
Andy Dalton over Jameis Winston. Who knows? Goodness me.
If Andy's in, I think Olave is probably the one I'm leaning right now. And most of the chat agree, too. 50 votes, 71%.
Yeah, but I'm with
Olave.
Andrew on this. Andrew in the Woodward Sports Chat says, Adam, don't fall into the trap. Spread out your players, especially away from Thursday night. Well, look, I'm starting D-Hop and Kyler. That's happening no matter what. I'm starting Kamara. That's happening no matter what. Those are my guys. But if I start Olave, I'm not a fan of starting two players from the same team. It's very difficult. There's one football, right?
Right.
So when it's not Kamara getting the handoff or the check down, I'm basically praying that the ball's being thrown to Chris Olave. It's very stressful.
Yeah, it is.
But then I get Terry McLaurin.
Maybe you go McLaurin. Is it at Washington or is it at Lambeau?
God. See, it's at Green Bay, I believe.
My goodness.
It's at Green Bay. Man. Unreal.
Your first world problems, Adam. Man, that's a tough one. Go with your gut. I feel like in your gut you want to go McLaurin, but you're skeptical right now. Go McLaurin.
Everybody's saying 68% say Chris Olave.
It's heavy Olave.
That is a very difficult decision.
But they're making a great point too. Thursday night hasn't been the most prettiest. So if it's an ugly game, your entire team suffers.
Trend ends tonight. I'm sorry.
Watch
Kyler Murray averages a touchdown more a game and 70 more yards passing a game when D-Hop's in the lineup. The Arizona Cardinals are a much better team now with D-Hop back. We all saw what happened to them. They fell apart last year without him.
Yeah, that's true.
He's back. They're going to have a really good game tonight. My question is, do the Saints check it down all day to Alvin Kamara and just hand him the ball off and get stuffed by the Arizona defense, which did a good job against Seattle last week? Or does Chris Olave explode and so does Alvin Kamara? It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. I have no idea what to do, to be honest with all of you. But, I want to share this with all of you as well before we get to Mailbag. I want to show you my Week 1 lineup. Now, stay with me, okay? Pay very close attention.
Hold on. Is this your big money league?
This is my big money league,
Okay.
yep.
Uh-oh.
This was my Week 1 lineup. Everybody that I had drafted. You ready? Lamar Jackson, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Waddle, Christian McCaffrey, Cam Akers, Dawson Knox, Javonte Williams, with D-Hop and Metcalf on the bench. That was my team. What do you guys think in the chat? That was my team prior to all the moves I've made. And compare that Week 1 team to Week 7, where it's Chris Olave, Amon-Ra St. Brown, D-Hop, Kamara, Derrick Henry, Kyler Murray, Noah Fant, / Dallas Goedert. I flipped arguably the worst team in the league into one of the better teams. And yes, I did draft Cam Akers and Javonte Williams. The fact that I have the team I have now, I put in work. Totally overhauled my team. Feeling great about it. I literally went from a 3-win team to a league winner.
You went full on.
I went GM
mode. Yeah, you did. In a couple weeks.
I turned it all around.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, I traded Lamar Akers, but this is Akers before the Monday night game, by the way, a few weeks ago. I traded Lamar Akers and somebody else for Schultz, Kyler, and Kamara. And I flipped Schultz for Goddard.
Jesus.
And the rest is history.
You're just wheeling and dealing on your friends, man.
Oh, yeah. Put in work, man.
Put in the work, man.
Oh, God.
Eric says, Olave should be the #1 target for the Saints tonight. It's just tough because you have Kamara in there, too. So
yeah, Olave's playing. I mean, that's not the problem here. Olave's going to play.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I play him. He's projected 14 points almost.
What is McLaurin projected?
10.
So it's really faith. I mean, you're going to have to...
I don't know what to do. I don't want to play everybody on Thursday night either.
I know.
It's Washington's at home, by the way. They're not at Green Bay. I lied.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes us.
I don't know, man. Jair Alexander shadowing Terry McLaurin is terrifying.
It doesn't make you excited.
Yeah, I'm putting in McLaurin or Olave. Excuse me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I made the change. I'm listening to the people. 66% of you say Olave. I'm going with the 66%. I threw him in my lineup. God help me this week. God help me this week. Need to win this game. Taylor Heineke is throwing the ball to Terry McLaurin, by the way. All right, when we get back, mailbag time. Get your questions in the Woodward Sports chat. We'll answer them right away. But before we go, I got to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience, and it's your last month to register to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's has the best in the business. When it comes to stylists, the way they treat you, the way they take care of your hair, they do it better than anybody. So get to a Lady Jane's near you. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
The biggest rivalry in the state is almost here. That means one thing, the biggest tailgate party in the state. Join Woodward Sports for our tailgate takeover before the U of M versus State game on October 29th. Will Harbaugh and the boys pull out the win? Or is Tuck still coming? We will find out at the Big House. Michigan legend Braylon Edwards will be handing out food, prizes, and much more. So no matter what team you root for, come party with the network that does it best. The Woodward Sports Network. The tailgate takeover, powered by Custom Health Centers, Syntron, and Planet Fitness.
Woodward Sports, you see the name!
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
And we are back live here on the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you to everybody joining us over at woodwardsports.com. Let's get to Mailbag. Adam, have you ever been to the Traverse City Cherry Festival?
He probably doesn't even know what Traverse City is.
Do you know where Clare, East Tawas, or even Alma are in this great state? Adam, what's your favorite candy? Three-parter.
Jesus.
I've never heard of the Cherry Festival. I don't know any of those cities. And my favorite candy, I don't have one, I think.
Yeah, do you know where Traverse City is?
Traverse City? Yeah, I know where it is.
Okay, good. Ooh, I think of a heart attack if you didn't know where that
I've been
is.
to Traverse City. But I've never heard of the Cherry Festival. Sorry, guys. Apologies.
I heard they actually don't have cherries at the Cherry Festival.
Let me address a certain somebody that works for this company.
Oh, here we go.
All right, who?
Ryan Lentz.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
Mailbag. Jeff, why do you ignore my text messages? Well, Ryan, you text me at 10:30 at night. All right? Got home from the game.
Well, he probably...
This is what I did.
He probably knows you're up.
I got home from the game at around 10-ish.
Okay.
Showered, prepped, went to bed.
Oh, okay.
So my bad. I didn't check my phone. I don't hate you, Ryan. You know you're my guy. This man always comes at me about not responding to his text. I'm sorry, all right?
You should have checked it at 6 a.m. when you got up.
I know. I came right here. I didn't even look.
Okay.
My fault, Ryan. Still love you. Ryan, by the way, that's the guy people don't talk enough about, by the way. He's very important.
Graphics and video genius.
Man's very important.
You posted an Instagram story an hour after he texted you.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
No, Jeff, mute your mic.
You got some explaining to do, mate.
I think you got the wrong guy.
All right, let's see what else. Should I start Michael Gallup or Alec Pierce? I'm going to go Alec Pierce, man. I'm a big fan.
Dude, Alec Pierce.
3 straight 12-point games.
Yes.
He is becoming the number 2 target in Indianapolis. Kid can run great routes. Big-bodied receiver. I like Alec Pierce a lot. He's doing well. Matt Ryan's been throwing the ball a ton. Jonathan Taylor back this week. Yes, I don't expect Pittman to go off another consecutive week. Look for Alec Pierce. I'd start him over Gallup. You going Gallup or Pierce?
I'm going Pierce. I love Pierce, man. I think that's becoming slowly Matt Ryan, one of his favorite targets. And in a depleted wide receiver room besides Pittman, Pierce is rising. His stock's rising. Give me Pierce. I think Gallup, though, is going to gain more value, too. So that's a sneaky one as well with Dak back. Dak loves throwing to Gallup,
Let's see what
too.
other questions we have in the chat. Who has a better season when it's all said and done, JJ or Peyton Thorne? Oh, it's JJ McCarthy. Not even close.
No question. I mean, he just has more help. I mean,
all right, let's see what else we have here in the chat. Just hoping Dan Snyder has something on the Fords so they could sell the team. Behave.
Dude, that move by Dan Snyder, like backing him into a corner and being like, I have dirt on everybody. Like, Jesus.
I don't know.
It's a mess over there.
All speculation at the moment. Mailbag, who should I flex? Zeke or Kenneth Walker? I'm going Kenneth Walker.
Yep, Kenneth
I know
Walker.
Detroit's run defense is pathetic, but Kenneth Walker is not sharing the backfield with anybody. Tony Pollard will get a lot of touches. He'll get catches out of the backfield. You're basically relying on Zeke to score a touchdown. I would start Kenneth Walker easily.
I think Pollard's going to have a big game against the Lions, in my opinion. We'll see, though. I would probably lean Kenneth Walker.
All right, let's see what else we got here. K9, everybody agrees Kenneth Walker in the chat. Let's see what other questions we have. I drafted Pierce in my Dynasty League. Interesting. I've never done Dynasty League football, by the way.
Me either.
I'm not. I don't think I could.
One season, yeah.
I don't think I'd want to. I like the idea of every year a new draft, a new experience, yada yada yada. But you do kind of, I guess, live the GM experience if you're drafting rookies, right? Every year in a Dynasty League, but whatever. Should be fun. Jamal or Swift in PPR? Swift. If Swift is back, he's going to get at least 4 catches out of the backfield. Probably anywhere from 9 to 13 carries at most. You're looking for 12 to 16 points, maybe a little higher if he scores a touchdown. So I would always start Swift in that situation. All right, let's see what else we have here in the chat. Jeff, everyone's calling you out for ignoring Ryan. Not cool of you, by the way. Very, very shady on your end.
Yeah, super shady.
Does Isaiah Stewart get traded or move to the 4 within the next year or two with Duren looking so promising?
Let's just eliminate the first option. He's not getting traded. The second option, I think he'll start at the 4 eventually. You need more of a sample size with Isaiah Stewart shooting threes, but I think eventually that's your ideal front court. Isaiah at the 4 to be able to switch multiple positions, can space out, hit a three-point shot, and then you have Duren, who's just a presence in the paint. So that's your ideal front court. But I think there's gonna be some time before you can really implement that. I think Isaiah's gonna be a 4 at times, but I think eventually he's gonna be a 4 mostly, at least in my opinion, if he can knock shots down.
Nick Burke asks, D-Hop, St. Brown, or K9 at flex? Dude, what is your team?
Oh, that's
the flex decision you're making.
Yeah, if you have to decide between those 3 players, you got a good team.
What?
You got a good team.
That doesn't make sense to me. No chance. D-Hop and they should all be starting. The hell am I listening to?
What is this?
What? What'd I miss?
Oh, it's okay, Ryan. I see Jeff at the Pistons game yesterday, and his security detail wouldn't let me get close enough to say hi.
Hey.
Oh, my God.
Jeff, you were that important last night? Walk me through last night. How was it?
It was a lot of fun.
Who came up to you? What'd they say?
A lot of different people.
Tried hitting on you?
No one tried. No one tried hitting on me. All right, thankfully. But met a lot of great people, man. A lot of good humans, and it just makes me so happy and blessed to be in this position too, because I get to interact with Pistons fans that I didn't know going into the game and leaving. I'm like, you know what? Made some more friends. So shout out to everyone who came up to me. I'm a very open person. You can come up to me and be like, hey, Jeff, your take sucks or your take's great. I don't care. But come up to me and talk. I'm always willing to talk sports. But no, it was awesome. Met a lot of new people.
And Tyler Boyd for Drake London and Michael Thomas. Who wins that trade? Whoever got Drake London and Michael Thomas. 100%. 100%.
Hey, be honest. Did anyone talk about Adam Beydoun?
No. Are you talking to me or him?
No, I'm talking to Jeff, but...
Adam was mentioned once. He didn't say anything bad. It was just like, I watch you and Adam. So it's not bad. I was like, oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. A couple people watched me on From Half Court.
How do you not?
A lot of different things, but
we're out of here.
Yeah. Shout out to the people.
Thank you to everybody who watched us today over at WoodwardSports.com. You all have a great rest of your Thursday. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. Big D Energy coming up at 11. Ermanni and Edwards at 2 o'clock. The heavyweights at 5 o'clock. Make sure you tune in and check them out at WoodwardSports.com.
Yep.
We will see all of you tomorrow. Heavy Lions show tomorrow. Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions.
Can't wait.
Will they get their first win? We'll cover it all and tell you why or why not tomorrow. You all enjoy your Thursday.
Happy birthday, Jeff. Football Thursday. Enjoy it. How do you not?